Welcome to 3DLANES number 80, and I am recording this on Wednesday, June 24th. And I am recording late because life has been chaotic the past few days. Work has been kicking my butt. Still, we're in escalation mode. School is the last week of the class before last. Strategic um, Strategic, what is it's called? It's strategic. It's not a strategic management. It is strategic. Strategic. Yeah, it is a strategic management. What a noob. Okay, that tells you how much I am in sync with the world and with everything that I'm doing. I'm doing everything I can to stay on task all the time, but by the end of the day, I end up dead. Working out has taken a toll. I haven't been able to work out as much this week as I usually do. I haven't been able to. Well, I actually feel the need to take more photos because that's something that distracts me and let me creatively do something instead of just trying to solve people's problems or staying on task with school stuff. School can be a little creative, but not a lot, which is appreciated. But yeah, it's life is tough. That's the bottom line. But I enjoy it. Pressure is a privilege, and we keep going. We're almost done. Almost done. And today I would like to talk about two different sides of a coin. And I guess a question could be, can Porsche learn from Leica? Right? Because uh, at the beginning of the year, if not at the beginning of the month, there were rumors that Leica was in talks of getting acquired by a Chinese firm, right? That has not happened, but it's in talks, and it wouldn't be something rare in the industry to happen because we had Hasselblad already go through it, and then as of today, I think today or yesterday, Porsche announced that they're trying to protect the revenue by reducing the amount of cars that they produce. So is while Porsche is trying to protect revenue, profitability, and becoming more selective about what they build, Leica is entering or can enter a new chapter, right? And a lot of people might say that's bad, that's not good, that why would they do that? But it's it can be debatable because there's already a lot of innovation coming from that end, from that part of the world, and there are already deals going with phone companies with that side of the world, not something that we see here. But it's not so much uh, just Porsche trying to reduce amount of cars and increase revenue, because we have to look at the numbers a little bit. And Porsche in 2025 delivered 279,449 cars, which was a drop of 10% from 2024. Revenue also fell to about 32.2 billion euros, and operating profitability is under a lot of pressure, mainly because of China, tariffs, product changes, and EV. If you follow Porsche, you know the strategy of EV has changed quite drastically, right? They said that they were not going to make Cayman or Boxster gas anymore. It was going to be EV. Now they backtracked, and I think it's going to be hybrid, if I'm not mistaken. I need to look into that. But it's, you know, they're trying to go a little bit the Rolex way, right? So they're going to go smaller, more controlled production model, fewer low volume variants, tighter capacity, more emphasis on high margin models. They already announced that the Taycan Cross Turismo is going to be dead in the US, and the Sport Turismo also after 2026. So that's probably a car that doesn't sell. They're going to kill it, right? Because they need profits. They don't need to be paying for to keep a car in stock if it doesn't sell, if something else can take its place and sell right away. One of the issues I see here with Porsche is that Porsche, every time they came out of a hole, it was through a car that was kind of like the people's car, right? Kind of like a Volkswagen type of story. We had the 996. That was one of them, right? With the fried egg headlights. That's one of them. And the Cayenne, that's another one. So I would not believe that they're gonna stray away from the Cayenne. Obviously not the 911. But maybe EVs are not gonna be a thing. Are they gonna be more towards a little leaning towards Ferrari style of things? Maybe, right? That's a possibility, being more exclusive. But at the same time, they've tried always to stray from Ferrari's path and not following the rich consumer and be more have a wider audience, you could call it. Yes, it's luxury, but at the same time it's not to the level of Ferrari, which it becomes very almost handcraft, right? Like the craftsmanship of Ferrari has to be like very handcrafted level to actually justify the prices. Compared to Porsche, they're allowed to go more factory style. Yeah, they have a lot of customization, but at the same time it's not Ferrari level. So when we compare it to Leica, right? Leica has not been acquired yet. They are still owned by ACM, and this is a 55% stake of the company, and Blackstone owns still 45% of the company. There were some talks about Blackstone trying to sell, whatever, all that stuff. I don't know. I'm not an insider, so I wouldn't be able to tell you. But Leica has reported, uh, or reportedly, they reach record revenue of 596 million euros in 2024-2025. So they are not in need to sell. If they sell, it would be because we're trying to move on. But they're being valued for around 1 billion euros because it is positioned as a global luxury and cultural brand. So it's not, again, it's not that they need to sell. It is something that when somebody's trying to get out of the game, that's when you sell also. It doesn't have to be because you're in dire need. But the 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 question here, I guess it could be, will Leica still be German after the purchase of a Chinese owner? But at the same time, Leica already operates globally to a certain extent, right? They partner with Chinese smartphone companies already, and they heavily sell in Asia. So that's kind of like not a very relevant question, because again we have the example of Hasselblad, or even Volvo, right? In the car industry, we have the example of Volvo. They still operate in Sweden, both of them. So it's not like, oh, they're gonna lose their Germany heritage or their Germany factories and they're gonna move to China. That's not how it works. It's not about what nationality they're gonna be, but is the new ownership going to trying to move like a to faster expansion and keeps the same scarcity that they have? Are they going to license more? They're going to collaborate more? Are they going to be more accessible to broaden the base of customers? Are they going to have the same higher prices without the equivalent product meaning? Um, those are the questions that come up to mind when you think about these things. But it's going to be also just a quick transaction, right? Instead of having like a long term, they're going to be the new stewards of the brand, right? Are they going to do that, or are they just after a quick sale? And I think it's interesting how these two companies are in like very, very opposite ends of of a market, right? Because Porsche, they need to preserve margins. Leica, they have enough. They have sold more than enough, and they have enough luxury value. They're like the Rolex for cameras. Porsche, they may reduce variance, right, and capacity. Leica may face pressure if they get acquired to expand. Porsche risks becoming too exclusive if they go for scarcity, but Leica risks becoming too commercial, so almost swapping spots. Porsche sells performance and heritage, and Leica also sells craftsmanship, image making, and heritage. So they're on the same end of their respective market, right? They're in the heritage kind of end of the brands. That's what they sell. But yeah, these are very, very interesting questions, and it's another point to touch is, has Leica become more valuable by protecting scarcity? I would say yes. And has Porsche become valuable by scaling? I would also say yes. Right? There's value on both ends. But what happens when Porsche now ends and acts more like Leica? That's one point to I guess that's the main point to consider from this discussion, right? Because we're that's where the comparison take us, and the change of strategy from each company uh kind of, it's almost like a like an inverse mirror of each other, right? So that's where the change in strategy would take the other company, right? And there's a lot of speculation when it comes to Leica. But at the end of the day, can because I believe Porsche was still like leveraging scarcity, but not as much as like Rolex. But can they go even more, even deeper in the scarcity level? I think that's something that we will see if that's the actual strategy that they're taking, and we will see on the Leica strategy if they're actually going, if they actually get sold to begin with, right? So I don't know. These were two subjects that came up in the last couple weeks, and I thought they were very, very interesting. So I wanted to make an episode, and when the Porsche news came up, I thought it would be great to compare with each other, because they were very, very close, but at the same time, in they're polar opposites, right? Because they're not in the same position. But what do you think? I would like to, I don't know, start a conversation if that's possible. Put some thoughts and comments, or send me a direct message. I like this whole strategy situation and how it's changing in both brands at a very, very close time frame, right? They're both acting almost at the same time. Yeah, so let me know what you think. Uh, that's all I have for today. I appreciate your time. I will see you next time.